Welcome to MMA Dogs. My name is Hector. This is my dog Dan.
Hi.
And we are in Las Vegas, the home of the UFC
and the mecca of MMA.
In our opinion, and we've talked about this before. What do you got, dog?
Yeah, we both agree on this. They go out there and finish a fight early in the first round, but don't get caught speeding. Don't get caught speeding on this fight.
They're against a guy who just got bit by a dog with rabies or something.
For me, it's do not bet.
And betting advice: do not bet. But it's going to be one of those things, guys. I really feel it.
It's unanimous. MMA Dogs have spoken.
5-star, and it's that's going to be a knockout. Just something to highlight the night.
MMADogs.com. MMADAWGS.com. Who's ready to make some money? I know we are. If you're ready to consistently profit over and over again, you've come to the right place. Now let's go to my dog Hector from America's finest city.
Welcome to MMA Dogs. My name is Hector, and as always, thank you for tuning in. Now, we have a very special MMA Dogs UFC on Fox 10 betting picks, betting cards, extravaganza. We have a total of 7 fighters which we deem worthy of betting on. So we have a lot to cover. And first things first, you never want to bet more than you can afford to lose. Of course, we always go into this wanting to profit and wanting to profit as much as possible. But you always want to be careful. And then second thing is you always want to check your local government for betting laws and betting rules. And then, so now we got that out of the way. Check out our website, MMADAWGS.com. You can find all the links, all the social media, all that good stuff. So let's go straight into it. So unfortunately, there is not a 5-star pick, but there is a near 5-star pick. It's a very highly rated 4-star pick. So let's go straight into it. 4 stars. Medium to large play, parlay worthy, and the number 1 betting pick on this 11-fight card is Ben Henderson, sitting at -270 right now. Now, Ben Henderson is an absolute beast, excellent fighter, and I am very familiar with his abilities. I am 5-0 predicting his fights. That is predicting him to win and also predicting him to lose when he fought Pettis. So, like I said, very familiar with his skills and abilities. Now, the last time he lost a fight, he came back like a savage. And, he's been facing the best opposition in the world. The best 155-pound guys in the world. He has fought. He has beat up until his last fight. Now, I expect to see a possessed Ben Henderson. And one thing that really impresses me about him is his excellent game plans. So him and his coaches at MMA Lab get together. They come up with excellent game plans. Very, very confident in his abilities. Just a professional. And I expect to see the best Ben Henderson tomorrow night. Now, with Thomson, I'm also very familiar with him. A few things that bother me about him are he's 35 years old. He's injury prone. His training partners are on vacation. He claims to have had a terrible camp, but either he's being brutally honest or he's fibbing and trying to play mental games, but. Nonetheless, he's just not somebody who in this particular match with Ben Henderson, I can say has something to offer that Ben Henderson has never seen, or something that Ben Henderson cannot overcome or beat. I'm familiar with his fights with Melendez, and I know what he did to Diaz, and I know what he's done even way before that. And for him, unfortunately, it's a little bit too late. He's still one of the top guys in the world, but taking on the Ben Henderson that I expect that we will see tomorrow night. It's not a good thing for him. So let's move right along. Another 4-star pick. And this one is a fighter that I've been watching for a little while now. And he's at American Top Team. And he goes by the name of Walter Harris. And we're going to go with Walter Harris inside the distance at minus 205. Now, this is his second fight in the UFC, second fight in the Octagon. In his first fight, he fought Rochat, who is very underrated in my opinion. Rochat's underrated because sometimes he shows up, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he takes it seriously, sometimes he does not. Now, with Walter Harris, we have a big, athletic, raw talent that the American Top Team coaches, Conan was up there on stage with them at the weigh-ins to mold, and he has the tools. He just needs to continue to work on molding that raw talent, and it's going to be 241 pounds of whoop ass all over Krylov, and Krylov 218 pounds. He could make light heavyweight, and I expect Walter Harris to go out there and knock him out in the first round and put an end to the madness. Now, our third betting pick falls under the 3-star category. So 3 stars is small to medium. Parlay, rarely, not all the time, but rarely, just depending on the situation. So third pick is Eddie Wineland, sitting at minus 310. Now, he is competitive versus the best of the best at 135 pounds. He's very well-rounded. And in my opinion, he can beat Jabouin anywhere he wants. Anywhere he wants at all. He can keep it on the feet, hurt him there. If they want to go to the ground, he'll be able to get a more dominant position and beat him up there, ground and pound. So usually when a fighter can beat a guy just about anywhere he wants, he will fall in the 4-star category, but unfortunately he does not, because he's coming off a big disappointment, a big letdown in his career. But he is a younger fighter, the fresher fighter, and on a side note, his dad got a big suite, because it's close to his hometown where his whole family, friends, everybody will be there. So that ought to give him that extra motivation to get up for the fight after coming off such a big loss to Renan Barão. So I fully expect Eddie Wineland to win here, and I'm looking forward to that fight. Now, the number 4 pick also falls under 3 stars, and this is a guy I'm very familiar with, and that is Hugo Viana, sitting at minus 295. He's a 135-pound fighter with heavy hands, very heavy hands, team champion, Luis Doria, and that is a guy who I'm very familiar with, head boxing coach, one of the head trainers, who has coached Junior Dos Santos pretty much his whole career. Hugo Viana looks relaxed, he looks in shape, he looks ready to open up a can of whoop ass, and I'm very excited to see him and his return into the octagon. Moving right along here, the number 5 pick, the 5th pick here, is a nice, juicy, just about even odds pick, and that is Jeremy Stephens, sitting at minus 105. He has heavy hands. He trains out of here in San Diego at Team Alliance, down in Chula Vista. He is 2-0 at 145 pounds. For this fight, he's going to be sprawling and brawling. Now, one interesting thing to note about Jeremy Stephens is he has been working on his wrestling. He has great wrestling training partners over there, and one thing that he really has to look forward to in this fight is that Elkins is extremely hittable. Elkins is one of those guys that will leave an opening, get hit, and then work to get the takedown. Leave an opening, get hit, and then close the distance. So he knows he's going to get hit, but it's a must for him to get hit in order to close that distance. So he takes a hit, then closes the distance, takes a hit, gets the takedown. So in this case, it's not gonna. I don't expect Jeremy Stephens to gas like Diego Brandao did, and Jeremy Stephens has that brutal knockout power. So even if he doesn't get it in the first round, he can knock him out in the second round, maybe even the third round. But I really expect Jeremy Stephens to get his third win at 145 pounds here via knockout. So I'm really looking forward to this one. And moving right along here, the sixth pick, number 6, also 3 stars, of course, since we're moving down the line. And this is a guy who I've been very impressed with, especially in his last fight, and that is Stipe Miocic. Stipe inside the distance, okay? Inside the distance at only minus 140. Now, what's really impressed me is the game plan he had against Roy Nelson. So, the game plan he had against Roy Nelson was excellent, excellent game plan. Roy Nelson has one of the best chins in MMA, really, in all of MMA. He took an ass whooping from Junior Dos Santos at UFC 117 in Oakland at the Oracle Arena. And I kid you guys not, I saw him after his fight, maybe an hour and a half after his fight, interacting with everyone, talking with everyone, as if though he hadn't even been in a fight at all. And he's just a freak of nature. And what Stipe did to him was very impressive. He's going to have better striking than Gonzaga. He's going to have better footwork than Gonzaga. He's going to have the takedown defense to keep it on the feet and get the knockout. Gonzaga's chin is not anything to be excited about unless you're Stipe Miocic and unless you're betting on Stipe. He's younger, fresher, and his time is now. Gonzaga's time is past. Gonzaga, if you saw the fight with Travis Brown, Travis Brown's power is unbelievable, so I don't think Miocic will get the knockout like that. I think he'll get it more, he'll work for it a little more, get it in the second round, but it will be inside the distance nonetheless. And then moving right along to pick number 7. Pick number 7 is little Chico Camus, sitting at minus 185, the Rufus Sport athlete. Now, his striking will be better than Meza. His grappling will be enough to defend himself, enough to get the decision if need be. So with Meza, it's not really a striker versus grappler. It can be seen that way, but Camus's grappling is better than pitting a striker versus grappler matchup, because Chico Camus is more complete. And like I said, he's training at Rufus Sport with Anthony Pettis, Sergio Pettis, Ben Askren, all those savages, and he will continue to improve. And I expect to see a more refined Chico. He looked much better at the weigh-in. He didn't look as drained, as unhealthy, as dehydrated. So I'm very excited to see what he can do for us tomorrow night. Now, so that covers the 7. Very, very confident in those 7 picks. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made it. And then the next picks are all food for thought. Okay, so they're only food for thought. They are the rest of the fights that are taking place tomorrow. And as you can see here, I'm wearing my nice, comfy clothes here. No fancy shirts, no suit, tie, and none of that right now because it is 1:17 a.m. And spent endless amount of hours reviewing things, finishing touches on this thing, and finalizing the picks. So there's a lot of work that goes on for me on Fridays, even into the Saturday mornings, because just finalizing all the information, just getting as many different research and info all gathered together to make these picks. And this one is an interesting one. It's the number 8 pick. And it's Donald Cerrone. I have him beating Martins. And Donald Cerrone, in his last fight against Evan Dunham, looked like the number 1 contender, if not the champion, at 155 pounds. I mean, he just looked like a man on a mission. Oh man, he looked so impressive. Just a finisher, you know, just a Terminator, RoboCop, just a, you know, just somebody going out there just beating the shit out of the other guy. And Evan Dunham is a tough dude. Now, we've seen Donald Cerrone that looks like that, and then we've seen the Donald Cerrone that took on Diaz, on Nate Diaz, who just looked like a deer in headlights. And so it's tough to trust minus 200 now, minus 210, minus 250, minus 240. I've seen those numbers. It's tough to trust him with with him being that much of a favorite. And this Martins guy is no joke. You know, he's got an excellent record. He hasn't fought the best guys like Jorge Gurgel. I mean, that guy's not impressive at all. And Daron Cruickshank, you know, he doesn't impress me either. Donald Cerrone is a whole other realm, whole other level, and he's making a big jump. You know, so I can't go with Martins. I know a lot of people. I saw the line movement and a lot of activity on Martins, but I can't back that guy up. So I'm backing Donald Cerrone here. But like I said, it's a steep price, and I'd rather not get involved with that particular matchup. And the next one is another interesting one. Also, I feel very similarly, especially the line is just about the same. I think Rhodes is minus 230 right now. He opened up, I think, minus 250, minus 230. But I'm taking Mike Rhodes over Sullivan. Mike Rhodes, he is the younger fighter. I think he's 25, and Sullivan, I remember him being 32. And with Rhodes, you know, his only loss came to Brandon Thatch, a guy who is just a savage of a beast of a fighter. And he took that fight on short notice, Rhodes did, because nobody else wanted to fight Thatch. So Rufus Sport, you know, I know he's a gamer. He's gone 25 minutes. And with Sullivan, he's really tough. He's like a zombie type of fighter, you know, just keeps coming. But Rhodes has more upside, and I see Rhodes either getting a knockout in the second round or perhaps getting a decision. But those are steep odds for two guys making their debut, so And then the number 10 and 11 coming up here. 10 is Sergio Pettis. Now, this is a very interesting matchup. Sergio Pettis, we saw his fight he had with Campuzano, 29-28, unanimous Pettis in my book. And Caceres is no joke. You know, he's very tricky, very tricky fighter. This is a really tough matchup for Pettis, and you know, he gives up a lot in height and reach. So this will be a very interesting matchup. Caceres, I think, is plus 170. Pettis around minus 200. Just off the top of my head here. And you know, it's just one of those fights where let's see where the 20-year-old Pettis can do. And you know, and no need to get too crazy or too involved in that fight. And then the last fight, number 11, I'm taking Mike Rio over Cruickshank. Rio, two losses in a row, training at ATT, back against the wall. I expect him to go out there and just shoot for the takedown right away. Take down Cruickshank. Cruickshank's talking all his smack. You know, I think Cruickshank's one of those fighters that thinks he's a little bit better than he really is. And you know, that kind of fighter. I don't necessarily want to bet on or you know get too involved with. You know, I like guys that are more cerebral, more intelligent, and you know, guys like the top guy tomorrow night, Ben Henderson. So anyway, so that covers that. And now let's move on to the fun part. So MMA Dogs UFC on Fox 10 bets. 1 unit equals 1% of the bankroll. So the big bet of the night is going to be Ben Henderson at -270. The bet is 7 units to win 2.59 units. Moving right along, Walter Harris inside the distance at -205 and Eddie Wineland at -310. That gives us -103. So that'll be 2 units to win 1.94. Then we'll take Walter Harris at -205 inside the distance and Hugo Viana at -295. That gives us even odds, -100. So 1 unit to win a unit. And then we'll take another 2-leg parlay, which will be Eddie Wineland and Hugo Viana at -130 for half a unit, so 0.50 units to win 0.38 units. So it's almost a round robin, but the units are a little heavier on Walter Harris and Wineland at 2, then Walter Harris and Viana at 1, and then Eddie Wineland, Hugo Viana at half a unit. So that covers those, and then we got a few more here. Stipe Miocic inside the distance, -140, 1.5 units to win 1.07. Jeremy Stephens at -105, 1.5 units to win 1.43. And Chico Camus at -185, 1 unit to win 0.54 units. Now, this other one what we're going to do here is a round robin parlay of 2s. All right. So it's a round robin parlay of 2s, so there will be 6 wagers in total. And the total units wagered will be 0.42. 0.42 units total to win 2.80 units. And the 4 fighters in that one are going to be Thomson at +248. That's just a little insurance money there. Thomson at +248. Rio at +200. Caceres at +175. And Stephens at -105. So that covers that. So the total on the night is going to be risked is 14.92 units to win 11.75 units. So that covers it all there. And I am ready to get some sleep. And I can't wait for the fights tomorrow. So with that being said, I'm going to sign off here. And check out our website, MMADAWGS.com for more information. Good luck, dude. And see you guys. Have a good night.
Nobody likes to lose. So be done letting that money burn its way through your pockets. Slow down. Get ready. We are so confident that you will profit from our picks that if you don't, we will refund your money and give you the next card on us. In order to profit in the long run, it's important to be consistent with our picks. Rome wasn't built in a day and neither was Vegas. MMADogs.com. Profit guaranteed.
MMA